Hello and welcome back to our island plagued by dark magic. Today we are, going to be working on the docks in this area behind me, a little far away from the city, but it's just so shallow right over there. So here's what I'm thinking for the dock. It's pretty simple. However, I brought in some of the elements from our buildings that we use, such as the sort of curvy edge of the dock to mimic the curvy edges of the roof. And back here, or under here I suppose, we have the light blue terracotta, which will be light blue concrete eventually once we change it over to the other setting. Also, since I recorded that first clip, I got sick and I'm getting better, but you can probably hear it in my voice a little bit. Maybe you can't, but I can, and I think I sound weird. That's okay. So now we're going to build up I didn't change this. You can see I tested out something different over here. However, I thought it looked really weird, so we're doing this one instead, and I'm just going to fix that and switch it over, and then we'll get started building a sunken ship. Alright, I added a little bit more to the docks just so we can get an idea of what area it's going to be covering, and that's going to help us figure out where we're going to put the ship. Now, it took me a while to figure out what was going to be happening down at the docks, but I was thinking, and if you imagine with me here while we get started building the ship. So the docks are the area where everybody finally left the island. I imagine that it happened not necessarily all at once in one big go, but that there would be one final moment where there's a big conflict between the two different sides, the dark magic users who are trying to save the island and all of the people who are saying, you're not saving the island, you're ruining it, we have to run away. So I want there to be something to show that this conflict happened here. So I'm thinking what I'll do with the ship that's going to be tied to our puzzle for the area is that it'll be split in half, and there'll be, in the same way we've put all those little dark magic spots around the island, that'll kind of take the edges of the ship and make it those dark magic blocks that I've been using. And then that'll indicate to the player, hopefully, that the bad guys came and hit the ship with dark magic. I'm imagining they're going, no, don't leave, we're saving the island, come back. And as they're sort of firing magic or using magic to pull at the ship so that the people on it don't leave, they end up breaking it. So since this is our statement piece, I've been trying to make it a little bit more interesting. It's kind of bland right now. I don't want to mix in too many woods and blocks because I have to change it over, and I don't necessarily think it needs that. Right now I'm trying to figure out what to do with the door because I want something to be hidden here, the main piece for the challenge that we'll get to in a second. But I don't want you to be able to go through a door because then it does the weird air pocket thing, and I don't really want that to be part of it. So I was thinking maybe doing something like this, which doesn't really make any sense. If I put it on the bottom, then it's kind of, I guess, like, oh look, it fell apart. And maybe I could do something like that, and then it kind of creates an interesting thing. It just doesn't look very difficult to get to. Can you place kelp? Yes, I can. Okay, well, I can do something like that. Okay, let's test it out. That's a little better. And then maybe we'll have some kelp growing in here. And I'm assuming the seagrass works the same way. So again, I'm struggling just with that same thing I just keep coming back to, where I don't want to put in too many things because it's been abandoned and underwater for a while, so I don't know how much left there would really be. I think, anything loose would have flown out to sea. Maybe we'll just knock some of this down a little bit. It's just how it's gonna be. That should probably just be there anyway. Such a funny shape. We've got a mast that's fallen over. I looked up some shipwrecks for inspiration, and most of them are pretty intact and rusted. And obviously ours is not made out of metal, so I kind of had to make it up a little bit and just say it's fantasy. But I think what really helps and what really makes it interesting is this part here where the magic has kind of come. And I don't know if I should also but see, the ground wasn't hit with the magic this time, it was the ship that was hit, so I think that's okay. Maybe I should, I'm worried if I make the mast dark that you won't be able to tell that it's a mast. That it'll just be a little confusing. Does that make sense to you? Okay, we can leave it. That way there's a little bit more evidence of dark magic. All right, now I'm going to fix up the edges a little bit and create a path that runs from here to the city so that it's not just a couple of docks sticking out into the ocean really awkwardly. One idea I had for the challenge was to do a boat racing obstacle course. I'm not sure, though, how I would make that obvious, and I think I'd have to create the obstacles awkwardly in the water, and it would just get kind of weird and messy, so we're not going to do that. Oh, look at the fish spawning around here. Ah, it's so exciting. Excellent. It's merging with the landscape. You know, if it would probably be built up here a little bit more. It's been here a long time. Anyway, so instead of doing an obstacle course, instead we're going to have you find a missing object. So you're going to have to search around the area and find, I think I'm going to have it be a child's toy or family prized possession, something that was left behind in the rush to get out of the city. And finding it essentially is going to represent healing. I'm trying not to be too cringy, but it's going to represent that now there's safety again, and that the world can start healing, and that if people come back, they can find their lost things, and that it'll be okay. That's the plan. So I'm going to hide some more things around and make this dock area a little bit more interesting so that you have to search around, and it might be hidden in the ship, it might be hidden in the docks. I don't know yet, but we're gonna find out. So I'm going to work on building this up a little bit, and as we build it up, we'll also meet a few of the villagers who are trying to run away, or at least find maybe some notes that were left behind. Maybe some people sent out some letters, and the letters never made it in all of the chaos. Everybody, I had a better idea, and it involves the tower. Now, I know we've used the towers a lot before for different things. However, I'll explain my idea and it'll be a lot better. So at the top, instead of having it be a traditional lighthouse, because it's not too rocky and dangerous around here, we're going to just have a light with a smoke, which will need to be lit in order to restore the area. So it'll be kind of like you're lighting the way home for everybody, which I guess is about as cheesy as everything else I was talking about, but that is okay. So you're going to have to find in the dock area a flint and steel. Well, sort of. You're going to have to find the parts of a flint and steel. So I'm going to have one hidden in the ship and one hidden around in some barrels and things placed in the area. So you're going to have to put those together, and well, you'll also have to find the thing that tells you that that's what you need to do. So it'll be a lot of exploring the area, and you'll kind of have to puzzle it out a little bit. But I think the player will have no problem. It shouldn't be too complicated. And while they're looking around, they'll also have a chance to run into some of the different stories of the villagers who are fleeing, and that'll just help tie everything together. Now, hopefully giving people a flint and steel won't give them too much power. I'm a little worried about that, but I suppose if they've downloaded the world, it'll be okay. And also, as you just saw, I'm going to make it even more difficult because you're going to have to find iron nuggets and turn the iron nuggets into your steel to use. Just to make it a little more complicated, because otherwise I think it'll be pretty easy. But this way, it'll help me spread everything around. And then it'll be more fun for the player. Maybe I'll hide the last one inside the tower. And now I begin the process of filling up the chests with some random things. A little tedious, but it really helps make things more interesting and less monotonous as you're traveling around. I don't want to put any buttons in, but I suppose I could put in a decorated pot. I don't know what anybody's gonna do with all these different sticks and candles. Maybe I'll have flint part of the flint and steel hidden back here. And oh, then they can't get it. Let's go like that. Very tricky. Hopefully not too annoying though. Maybe I'll take that off. So we're going to have some very hysterical person leave this note about, oh no, the tower light has gone out and what are we going to do? And they're chasing after us. Run! And this will be hidden around. I'm going to put it right in the beginning somewhere. So that way people aren't exploring everything and then realizing they have to come back and collect all of the iron nuggets. I think this will be the easiest. So what do we want to assign it? We'll just call it Tower Light. And hopefully it'll catch somebody's attention. Tower Light. And then they can figure that all out. And then once a command block senses that this has been relit, it will transform into the good version. Ta-da! Our nice warm browns. We've got the fire lit. Though I will say the spruce blends into the dirt a lot more than the birch did, but that's okay. You can see our bright blue. Oh, I guess when I changed it, I'll have to go in and fix that. That's okay. All right, thanks for sticking with me while I'm sick, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!